Hey, did you know that you consume more Earths than are available? Yes, I said what I just said. Let me rephrase that. Do you know that if every human on Earth consumed as much as the average American, we would need about 3.9 Earths to sustain ourselves? And you might be thinking something like, what, I'm super environmentally friendly. I recycle, I buy paper bags, I recycle, You would be wrong. By all aspects of chance, you are very much so still consuming the planet. The ecological footprint statistic that I just threw at you includes the environmental impacts of carbon emissions, farming, production, and you already know that we need to cut down on our carbon footprint. Since elementary school, we've learned about global warming and pollution. The burning of fossil fuels releases CO2 gas, which traps heat in the atmosphere. With the rise of human industry comes the rise of human pollution, melting glaciers, killing fish, destroying habitats, and making Nemo unable to be found. You know to recycle, support government policies that limit carbon emissions, and feel guilty when you drive past electric car charging stations. But one of the easiest and most effective ways you can cut down on your carbon footprint is by just eating less meat. Some say reducitarian, some say flexitarian. I say both are stupid, and you should just eat less meat. Just do it, please. I'm not just saying everyone should become vegan. Let's have a sustainable lifestyle for all of the population. It's a complicated issue, I know, trust me. But the scientific consensus is that the world, especially the US, one of the biggest carbon criminals on the planet, needs to reduce meat consumption. Let's go into the reasons why. Meat production is probably the most far-reaching environmental destroyer. Deforestation, water consumption, grain consumption, shipping, meat processing, waste pollution, and the partridge in a pear tree. Let's break it down. An overwhelming amount of resources go into the raising of cattle. 260 million acres of forest have been cleared for animal feed. According to the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, ranching-based deforestation is the leading cause for the endangerment of plant species in Central and South American rainforests. And you can probably guess that a living animal requires more land than crops. Half the water usage in the United States is used for raising animals. And it takes 100 times more water to produce a pound of beef over a pound of wheat. That water is 6 months' worth of showers. 70% of the grain and cereals in the US goes to animal feed. Animal excrement is a major pollutant to groundwater, runoff to river water, and through methane. Oh, let's talk about methane. Through a complicated process of cow digestion involving microbes and fermentation, animal waste is the biggest producer of methane gas in the US. It turns out methane is one of the most potent greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, being at least 20 times more effective at heat trapping than carbon dioxide. And with the meat industry being as gigantic as it is a contributor to the carbon emissions wrought by the shipping of goods and factory production. A pig factory produces about the waste of a city of 12,000 people. So not only does excrement pollute aquatic ecosystems, so does ocean acidification, where the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is absorbed by water and forms carbonic acid, acidifying the ocean and breaking down carbonate shells. Reducing your meat consumption is probably the easiest, and by easiest I mean cheapest, way to reduce your ecological footprint. It's estimated that being vegan lowers your carbon footprint more than if you were to buy a hybrid car. I'm not saying it's an uncomplicated solution. I mean, the consumption of resources and the use of land by agricultural animals is still a normal part of the natural cycle of, well, life. But even if these resources are used efficiently, the meat industry is still much larger than what would be the environmental and, well, healthy ideal for humanity. Hey! What about all the jobs that this industry provides? We have to consider the working people. We can't just think about the environment all the time. Sometimes actions and their effects are just too drastic. I don't even care what's blah. You know, that reminds me of the oil industry. Oh, and the coal industry too. I'm sure a lot of jobs are provided by humanity's main source of energy. But everyone who cares about the environment seems to agree that we need to cut down on the use of fossil fuels. We're still trying so hard to find alternate sources of energy which are healthier for the environment, despite it being such a major industry. I wonder why this doesn't seem to apply to the far-reaching impacts of the meat industry. I wonder why. The main thing blocking this needed dietary change is a cultural stigma. What we as a society need is a small cultural eat less meat revolution. What we need is for people to be conscious of their food choices and know the impacts. What we need is a redirection from America's meat-eating culture. I'll give you a specific goal. Every week, one time when you feel like ordering chicken or some other meat, just don't. If every American did that, it would be the equivalent of taking 500,000 cars off the road. In reality, the action can be that simple. In the long term, the solution is a slow internal change in how we view food consumption. That's why I'm speaking to you. Yes, you. Specifically you, Calvin, and the people sit with me that I don't know the names of. Every individual in this room, but not just in this room. It's as Star Trek once said, the next generation. You have the power to kick burger-eating glorification to the curb. You, students, and graduating seniors, congratulations by the way, can create a new society. You have the power. In fact, this generation is the most on track for lowering meat consumption. I'm sure you've heard about the rise of veganism, the overeating of avocados, and those new weird diets you see on Instagram. It's all because there's a big change going on right now, and we all need to encourage it, continue it, and research it. You are the biggest chance for humanity, and that's why I'm speaking to you. You may feel like your individual decisions can't impact society, but it's the demand that over time influences the supply. It's the decisions of the individual that make up the group, like voting. Vote. How easy it is to look at these claims and think it's all hippie voodoo. I know, I like Korean barbecue as much as the next guy. I'm just saying that you have the power to create a new world that's more healthy for the environment, for humanity, and for overall sustainability. So go out there and eat less meat, just do it please.